Hey guys, Kevin Ramirez here from Empowered Life, coming at you with another empowered moment. Nugget of information. So listen, I get all the time these questions around sugar. You know, you go to a party somewhere, you're talking to people, and people are terrified of sugar. They don't want to put a teaspoon of sugar in their coffee. They're freaked out. So why are people scared? I mean, when you ask people what sugar is, most people will say candy bars, cookies, donuts. I mean, I had this discussion with my dad, and he's like, donuts are sugar. Sugar is just a small part of a donut. So if donuts are making you fat, there might be a lot more to it than just sugar. So let's take a look at what the actual facts say. There's actually an inverse relationship between the amount of sugar you consume and leanness, meaning the more of it you consume, the more lean you tend to be when you look at the macro picture. Now, so what's going on? What are we talking when we're talking about sugar? Sugar is things like honey, table sugar, fruits, juices, things that are short chain sugar. So they're not complex carbohydrates like potatoes or starchy vegetables or starches in general. Starches are long chain sugars that need to be broken down into short chain glucose to be taken across the stomach from the stomach into your bloodstream. People are afraid they're going to eat a bunch of honey, some fruit, some table sugar, and all of a sudden they're going to go boom, like a puffer fish. And that's not going to happen. Okay, if you have to understand how the body works, you are going to burn off easy to burn fuels first before you're going to burn fat. So if you overeat a couple hundred calories, you're just going to drive up metabolism. If you consume 500, 1,000 extra calories every day, week after week after week, and you're a slug and you're not moving, you're not burning it off, you're not justifying those extra calories, well then yeah, you can store fat. Because if all the gas tanks are topped up, your liver's full of glycogen, all your muscles are topped up, your body's gonna say, well, I got nowhere to put this, so let's make a little bit of fat, put that away in storage because we may need it in the future. That makes sense? So nobody's suggesting to live on just sugar or just one fruit or just one type of steak or just one vegetable all the time. What we're suggesting is sugar is a fuel. Use it as a fuel. Get your nutrition. Eat sugar if that's what you need to fuel you through your day because, for example, you have a high stress lifestyle, you're working long hours, you are a performance athlete. Fuel's important. Very, very important. And I don't care what you think about potatoes or other starch or anything like that. All of those carbohydrates need to be broken down into monosaccharides, which are short chain sugars, so they can be taken across into the bloodstream. Why is that important? Because everything else other than sugar, which is 50-50 fructose and glucose, comes with anti-nutrients, fibers, and other things you may not respond well to. So if you don't know that and you just need a boost of fuel, why do you think runners have gels that are basically just glucose? Because it's easy for them to absorb, no stress on the gut, and they don't need a lot of blood supply in the gut while they're running and doing some athletic event. So sugar is just fuel. Honey happens to come with more nutrients, but it also comes with some allergens for people. Same thing goes with fruits. Some fruits have more starches, i.e. more long chain carbohydrates that you'll have to break down, and more fibers, potentially an issue. So that's the big deal with sugar versus carbohydrates. The other fear that people have that's gonna cause diabetes. Well, with all the fear that's surrounded sugar consumption, do you realize that sugar consumption has been dropping steadily since 1999? That means for 21 years, the consumption of sugar has been declining. And yet diabetes is still climbing, heart disease is still climbing, obesity is climbing. How are these things climbing if the consumption of sugar is dropping and if sugar is supposedly the cause? It just doesn't make sense, it doesn't add up. What we see in the research is that there seems to be a very strong link with the consumption of polyunsaturated fatty acids or seed oils and obesity and diabetes. So those are things that you might want to seriously consider eliminating from your diet. Now, people also talk about hyperactivity for kids. Like, hey, this sugar, I give sugar to my kids and they get hyperactive. I think what you're missing there is that kids have a really high energy level. Their thyroid is operating at probably a higher level than yours. When you fuel them, they do normal kid things like run around and play. It's not normal for a kid to sit in front of a TV for 8 hours or sit at a desk for 8 hours. You shouldn't, in my opinion, try to shackle them down and expect them to sit like a 70-year-old in a desk or at a chair and be happy with that. Fuel them, let them play. That's great for their brain. Get them out the door, tell them to come back when it's time to eat. What's another one that people are afraid of? Okay, empty calories. I hate that term. Why do I hate that term? Because a calorie by definition can't be empty. It provides energy. What people actually mean when they say empty calories, what they mean is no nutrition. Technically accurate. Why? Because sugar comes just fructose and glucose. So it's got two forms of energy. One predominantly, fructose predominantly processed by the liver. Anyways, it can't be empty because it provides energy. It doesn't have nutrition, so you should probably take it with nutrition. You should make sure that you're meeting your nutritional needs based on your caloric intake and what you're doing for a lifestyle. If you're an athlete, and high performance lifestyle, high stress, whatever the case may be, get your nutrition. Fuel is part of your nutritional needs. So sugar is not the devil. It's not addictive any more than oxygen is addictive. Get your fuel. Hopefully you understand that. There's your empowered moment.